Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. We're going to do another episode of Real Estate Investing with Hayden. I'm going to teach you guys today. The topic is how to invest in mobile homes. Okay, I get some questions about these. And mobile homes can be a little tricky, so you definitely need to educate yourself before you get into it. Mobile homes can go a lot of different ways, okay? And we're going to cover a couple of those topics today, but you need to be very careful when you're investing in mobile homes. So let's just dive right in. Mobile homes, they can and they also cannot be similar to traditional real estate investments. And it depends how pretty much the deal is structured, okay? So let's look at a mobile home. Let's just look at this, okay? This is a patch of land, and we got a mobile home here. Let's call this number 1. And we got a mobile home here, and this is number 2. And then let's look at mobile home 3 here as well. Okay, so same piece of land, but this deal could run in a lot of different ways depending on how it's structured. Okay, so as the owner, as the landlord of the mobile home park, there's a couple different ways you can do this. Okay, so the first and the call it traditional route is that you as the landlord not only own this piece of land, but you also own the mobile home in there. Okay, so in this situation, let's say that let's just call rent $1,000 a month. Okay, so very easy. You get to live in this mobile home, and you get to use the land underneath it where the mobile home sits, and all of that is $1,000 a month. Well, let's say now there's number 2. Okay, and this is the lot lease. Okay, so what happens here is that, all right, so in this situation 1, the tenant, they own nothing, and you as the landlord own everything. You own the land, the mobile home, and you lease both of those out to the tenant. Okay, the second situation is you as the landlord only own the land, and then the tenant owns the trailer. Okay, so the thing about mobile homes is because they're mobile, they have wheels on them, is that they're considered personal property and they're not considered real estate. And I think the laws vary a little bit between state to state and how that's dealt with, but for the most part you need to know that this piece is not considered a home, it's not attached to the ground, and it's not considered real property, it's considered personal property legally. So this tenant, what they do when they want to move to your piece of property is that they say, hey, I'd like spot number 2, but I'm going to bring my own mobile home in. Okay, so essentially what you say, okay, that's fine. You're just renting my dirt and you're putting your trailer on top of my dirt. And that's going to cost you, these are rough numbers, let's say it's going to cost you $350 a month. Okay, awesome. So now as the landlord, in situation 1, you are responsible for anything that happened underneath, but also anything that happened inside of the trailer in terms of repairs, things like that. In situation number 2, you're only responsible for the dirt, so you need to pay property taxes, but if the air conditioner breaks in trailer number 2, as the landlord, that's not your responsibility because you don't own the trailer. The tenant owns the trailer, so those repairs fall on them. Okay, now let's talk about the third situation in which let's say it starts out similar to situation 1, where you as the landlord own the dirt and the trailer, and the tenant comes along and they go, hey, I'm really not that big of a fan of renting forever. So what you do is you say, okay, well, I as the landlord own trailer number 3 and I own the dirt underneath it. But what I'll do, instead of renting it to you, sorry, let's put this in here. Instead of renting it to you, I'll sell you this trailer and you can rent the lot from me. And I'll be the bank on the trailer. I know you don't have, let's just say we're going to sell the trailer for $25,000. I know you don't have $25,000. You give me $5,000 down. You can continue to leave it at this lot, and then you're going to pay me over time the remaining $20,000 you owe me on that trailer. So now what happened is we as the landlord actually sell the trailer to the tenant. At first, when they first came, it wasn't theirs, but we're going to sell it to them. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a lot lease for $350. That's how much the lot lease costs. And then they're going to give us $5,000 down for the trailer. And then they're going to continue to finance the trailer just like you would pay the bank for a property. You're paying you're playing the bank in this situation. And what you're going to do is you're going to receive, in addition to the $5,000 down and the $350 a month for the lot rent. See, this is called the owner finance. In addition to that, you know, I'd have to run the math, but say they're going to pay you, depending on the terms, you know, another, I don't know, call it $700 a month. Okay, some of that's going to go towards principal and some of that's going to go towards interest, but they're going to be buying that trailer from you slowly over time. Okay, so, you know, from the outside, when you're driving by a mobile home park, all of these may look the exact same. But in reality, you could have 3 different deals cut. One person could be renting the whole thing, one person could own it, and one person could be owner financing the trailer from you and you rent the land. Now, why does all this matter? Okay, all this matters because trailers can either be residential real estate or they can be commercial real estate. Okay, so in residential, we're selling things based off of comps. In commercial, we're selling things based off of cap rates. So if you have an entire trailer park, the difference between you owning the full thing, as in section 1 and, or sorry, example 1, and you just owning the land underneath in section 2, can make a huge difference in your income, but it's also going to make a huge difference in your expenses because you're going to have a lot less repairs, a lot less turnover of tenants. You don't have to lease things, less property management. It goes on and on and on. So the big difference is you always need to know, is this going to be commercial or is it going to be residential? And then at the end of the day, you just need to run the numbers on what your income, expenses, and ultimately NOI is going to be. Because if you have commercial, you're going to want to know what your NOI is. And if you look from the outside and you think that everyone's renting for $1,000 a month, when in reality they're only lot leasing, then you know you're going to have less than half the income there. So you just need to run the numbers on that particular property, the expenses, the income, to figure out which it is you're dealing with. This is a super high level overview of mobile home investing, but you need to know, because they're not real property, it can vary a lot, and there's a lot of different ways to structure these deals. Some landlords are predatory in terms of you know, they'll take the person's money knowing that they're probably going to default on that loan. That's bad practice, in my opinion. You don't want to take advantage of people like that. You're kind of setting them up to fail, but some people do it, you know, and they make a lot of money taking the $5,000 down payment. 6 months down the road, the person defaults on the trailer. The landlord takes the trailer back. Now they have the trailer and they have the $5,000. So just things to consider when you're getting into it. You know, mobile homes can be a great investment when done at scale and done professionally, but just be careful because you are dealing with a certain type of tenant class, certain type of persons renting from you, you know, and there's a certain association that goes with owning mobile homes. So as you guys think about that, if you like this, subscribe to the channel. My book's going to be below for free, a link to it. If you have any questions, drop a comment. Be happy to help you out. In the meantime, make some awesome things happen. See you again.